Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we will see how we can use the pessimistic concurrency control in RAP, or we can say how we can use the locking or classical concept of lock in our RAP applications. Let's get started. In my last video, we have learned about optimistic concurrency control. Now we will discuss about the pessimistic concurrency control. Pessimistic concurrency control we are already using in ABAP. Pessimistic concurrency control, the users want to make sure when I start editing any entry or any particular instance of particular object, that time nobody should edit that particular instance. To do this one, what it will do, it will put a lock on that particular instance, so some other user want to lock that particular instance, he will not able to do because it's already locked by that particular user. For example, in this case, OData client act as a user for the locking that particular business object instance. In this case, you can see this from this particular diagram. I can say when there are two OData clients, as soon as you will click on the update button or you will click on the save button. For example, the first user click on the save button. That time he will, whatever he have updated the data in the system, he will send the update to our business object. And the business object, using the EML statement we can do in unmanaged scenario and the normal managed scenario, that will be done by the framework. So that business object, what it will do, it will check the global lock table. If you are aware about the lock concept in ABAP, we have one central instance or central application server where we will store all the lock entries in the lock table. We can see in the classical ABAP those things in SM12, or what all are the things got locked. If you are not aware about the pessimistic concurrency control or lock object, I already have created this lock concept videos. 2 or 3 videos I have created and I have put in the playlist. I will show you that also, that you can see, and how the pessimistic concurrency control work real time, that I have explained clearly there. But here what will happen, suppose user 1 send the request, he click on save button on Fiori screen, that time that EML business object EML update will trigger. EML we will discuss in detail in upcoming video. Update will trigger. That time it will check that lock entry, that particular business object instance is already locked by some other users or not. If it is no entries available in this lock table, then what it will do, it will set the lock in that particular lock table and then update the data. When user 1 or OData client 1 updating the data, that time OData client also want to update the same instance. Then another user, you can say another user want to update the same instance of that particular business object. He will also do the same thing. What he will do, he will send the request to the business object, I want to update this one. Business object, what it will do, it will check the global lock table that particular object instance is already locked or not. Then he will get to know, or it will get to know, that already it is locked by some other user 1. So instance is already locked. Then what he will do, he will reject the update request by the OData client 2 or user 2 and say that is already locked by some other user. Updates are already going on, you have to wait for that. Like that it will get the error message and other user will not able to update their request, and he will get to know somebody also other user already editing. In this case, once the update is successful, what will business object, that lock will be removed from the lock table. After that time, other user can edit that thing. That is pessimistic concurrency control. When I start the editing, when I am updating, nobody else should update that particular business object instance. So how to apply this pessimistic lock also along with the ETag optimistic lock in our RAP application? So automatically, whenever you create the managed scenario and you create the behavior definition, you can see that automatically lock. Here you can't see, give me 1 second. You can see lock master will be defined as your root entity, and other entities automatically defined by the lock dependent by this particular travel. We will discuss these things, don't worry, but this will happen automatically, whether this code will be generated. If it is not generated, then you have to create lock master and lock dependent by two things. You have to create root entity, you have to create the lock master. Then what is lock master and lock dependent by? Lock master means whenever you put the lock on that particular entity, not only that particular business entity will be locked, that particular dependent all other entities also will be locked. In that way, the entire business object, that particular instance will be locked, so nobody else able to edit any part of that particular business object. So if you see, if I will explain this thing in this slide. For example, in our case, we have the travel entity, we have booking entity, we have booking supplement entity. This is our root entity and these are the child entity. In our case, we will make this particular root entity as a lock master, and this booking and booking supplement will be lock dependent by this particular travel entity. So in this case, what will happen? Suppose I am editing the travel instance, and as soon as I start editing the travel instance, to relevant this travel, what all are the booking and booking supplement. In this case, for example, I started editing this one, then relevant this booking and booking supplement, everything will be logged, and you will be not able to edit for this particular instance. For example, travel ID 5002 you are editing, then nobody could able to update the database table of 5002 instance that time, but you can update 5003, 5001 other travel instance. That suppose not only that you are editing travel, suppose you are editing the booking instance. In this case, in this booking instance, when you are editing and you have defined that the log dependent by underscore travel, your master travel entity, in that case also that entire business object, that particular instance 5002 will be logged. For example, 5002 travel, and for example there is two booking instance are there, both booking instance, and for those booking instance what all are the booking supplements are there, those everything will be logged. You will be not able to change in that also. So that's very important. Entire business objective will be logged. And in the child instance, you have to define log dependent by, you have to give the association name, your root entity or master log, wherever you define the master log, that particular association name you have to give. And that one more important thing, when you use this log dependent by entity in the log master, then you have to explicitly define association in your behavior. In this case, association underscore travel I have already defined. So whenever you are giving your parent entity as a log dependent by your log master, in this case log master is the travel, and in your log master, how you have to define, this is the log master, travel is my log master, and this log dependent by travel means this is a child entity of this travel, and I am using my log master is a travel in this case. So in this case, whenever I edit the booking also, so it will, that lock will be delegated to the log master, and entire that particular instance, travel instance, will be logged, even you are editing one booking of that particular travel. So this is how it works in real time. And the one more thing, in the projection layer, you no need to define this lock explicitly, it will automatically inherited, or it will automatically, we no need to define explicitly here. Whatever in your base behavior definition, that will be taken as a lock in your projection as well. So same thing I have written, the projection business object RAP locking mechanism that is defined and implemented for the base BO automatically reused, and does not need to explicitly define. It will automatically reuse, we no need to explicitly define. Then something else I have missed, this I have explained, this I have explained. And when this locks will be triggered, that's one another thing. As soon as you do any standard operation apart from create, update, delete, or create by association, anything you will do that, or any actions you will do, that time this lock will be triggered, and that particular business object instance will be logged, to avoid some other user can also edit that particular, as soon as this EML statement will trigger, that time it will be logged. And for lock dependent entity, any locking request is delegated to its lock master. Obviously that same thing I have explained. Suppose this is lock dependent entity, so as soon as you edit this one, then that particular lock will be delegated to lock master, and entire object, that particular instance code will be locked. The same thing I have explained here as well. So this is how we do. Here we no need to do explicit because this is the managed scenario. Till now I have whatever I have explained, that is relevant to the managed scenario. And in unmanaged scenario that we will discuss, there we have to define explicitly our lock object, and we have to define one method, and we have to write our own code to handle this locking thing. We will be not able to see this all locking thing real time because we are working with the managed scenario. The lock is handled by the framework, so that is the reason we don't have much control over how we can write the code, and we can stop in between to see that another user when triggered, then how the lock message will come. But still I want to show you how the RAP locking work. When you click on the update operations, so here we should not confuse with that. Sometimes the user will get confused. Let me open that Fiori application. You can see once I click on go button and I go one of the instance, let me go to our 5002 instance only. If I go to this instance, if I click on edit button, here lock will not happen. I just click on edit button. I didn't executed any update EML statement or delete EML statement. I didn't do anything. I just click on edit button. Once I did everything update, and when I click on save button, and when you click on the same save button, that time this EML modify statement will be executed by the BO framework. When we do an unmanaged scenario, I will show you everything step by step. First, the authorization check method will be triggered. If you have authorization, then this particular, if you have implemented the lock in your behavior definition, it will check. In unmanaged scenario, directly it will execute and manage lock. In managed scenario, we have something method for lock that will be triggered. But in unmanaged scenario, that particular method will be triggered. But managed scenario, there is already framework have execute manage lock method is there, that will be triggered, and that will lock the that particular instance. So when OData client send this save request means he want to actually modify the database instance, that time it will be locked. Even we have multiple user in this edit screen, they can come and edit the thing. But if multiple user click on save together, that time this log concept will come. So no, for example, one time the database object is one user is updating using the EML statement, another user can't update that same EML statement on same database instance. So there will be data inconsistency if both the user will update each other data. So to avoid that, SAP come up with the SAP law concept that I have explained. Again, I tell you, you have to come to my channel, and you can go to the playlist section. We have somewhere update FM and SAP logs. You can open this up, and I will give you link in the bottom description as well. So you can see this particular, if you come down, SAP logs and database log, something is there. SAP log and database log, this you can watch out, and this will be NQ and DQ function module also there. That is not required, but at least you can watch this SAP logs and database log, where I have explained in detail. I think we have done with this video. It was not shorter and not longer. I just want to explain the concept of locking, and in next video we'll discuss some other characteristic. Before going to that video, please like this video, share these videos with others as well. With that, thank you and happy learning.